last video, we said our final goodbye to life in Kansas City. But the idea of signing a year-long lease without seeing the space or the surrounding area is panic-inducing. So before we packed up and started our 4-day road trip to Orlando, we actually took a short trip to check out different neighborhoods and tour some rental homes. I've only been to Orlando one other time, and the only things I saw were the inside of the airport, inside of an Uber, and Universal Studios. Needless to say, I was stoked that we could explore the different areas and get a better sense of where we would be living and what our budget could afford us in terms of space and amenities. And speaking of budget, we're looking for something that is at or below $2,000 a month. We want to have at least 2 bedrooms. It has to be dog friendly, and it'd be nice if it was close to my fiance's work. We also would love to have a garage, no carpet in the home, and a fenced-in backyard, also for the dogs. Although we currently live in a single-family home and would love to have a yard for the dogs, we did want to keep our options open, so I split our search into a day of viewing homes and a day of viewing apartments. Even if you have a different criteria than us, I want this video to be helpful, so that you have an idea of what's out there if you're considering moving to Orlando or just the Central Florida area in general. And of course, if you're from this area or live around here, I would love more insights from locals, so make sure to sound off in the comments section. Now let's get into these tours. The first home we toured was promising. It was located north of Orlando in the city of Deltona. The house had 3 bedrooms and 2 full bathrooms, a 2-car garage, and a fenced-in backyard. It was quite spacious, like more space than we actually needed, and for some reason it had 2 kitchen sinks, so a bit quirky, but totally doable. In terms of our must-haves, it was over budget. It did have 2 bedrooms or more. It was dog-friendly. It was close to my fiance's place of work. It had a garage. It didn't have any carpet, and it had a fenced-in backyard. My biggest gripe with the home was that it was a bit further from the area we wanted to be in, and most importantly, it was over budget. Why are there 2 sinks? Just quartz. Take a dishwasher. Moving on to home number 2. It was also located in Deltona, had 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, and a 2-car garage, and a fenced-in backyard. It was over budget again, a little more than $2,000 per month. It did have the 3 bedrooms, so we were good there. It was dog friendly, and it was close to my fiance's job. And it also had a garage. It did have carpet, but only in the bedrooms, and it did have a fenced-in backyard. I had the same reservations about this home as I did with the first one, just that it was outside of the area we wanted to be in and a little bit over budget.
Toto, I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore.
The last house we saw that day was a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom home with a 2-car garage. It was my favorite out of all the houses we looked at, and unfortunately, once again, we were just not as sold on the neighborhood. It was under $2,000 per month. It did have over 2 bedrooms. It was dog friendly. It was a bit further from my fiance's place of work. It did have a garage, and it only had carpet in the bedrooms, which is totally doable. It also had that really nice fenced-in backyard for the boys. This yard! This is the selling point. Oh, I guess I have to unlock the door, huh? That works. This home was actually located in Apopka. Despite the home being really nice, the area itself was kind of rough, and again, it would just be far from my partner's work. After seeing all the single-family homes, we decided to take a little break and explore the area near our hotel. We went to the historic downtown Sanford. It was super fun seeing the local shops and strolling along the river walk for a bit. We're in Sanford. So I'm right on the lake. It's super precious here. The time difference and stress of finding a place to live in such a short period made for the perfect excuse to just end the day by catching up on the bear in our hotel for the night. The next day, we went apartment hunting. The first tour was for an apartment in the Lake Mary neighborhood, which is one of my favorite locations. It was also reasonably priced and located on the first floor, which is super great for the dogs. So it met our budget needs. It was a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, so it also met the 2-bedroom requirement. It was dog friendly, and it was close to my fiance's work. It doesn't have a garage. It did have carpet in the bedrooms, and of course, being an apartment, it didn't have a fenced-in yard. While it's not ideal to live somewhere without a yard, the unit was directly across from the on-site dog park, which was nice, and living in a multifamily complex also comes with all the benefits of those on-site amenities like a gym and a pool, which is a good trade-off. The next apartment we toured was also in the Lake Mary area. It had higher line finishes and phenomenal amenities, but it was quite a bit over budget. It did have 2 bedrooms, it was dog friendly, and it was close to my fiance's place of work, but again, no garage, it had carpet in the bedrooms, and of course, no yard. And finally, this townhome we toured was located in DeBary. It's kind of between the other two in terms of finishes and amenities. It was under $2,000 per month, had 2 bedrooms, was dog friendly, and it was close to work for my partner. It didn't have a garage, it did have carpet only in the bedrooms, and again, because it's a multifamily unit, there was no fenced-in yard. Although it's not the area that we wanted to be in, it was a little closer than the other places we saw in Deltona. It was on the 2nd level, which is not ideal with the dogs, but even despite all this, we did really like this one.
Oh, this kitchen is massive too.
We ended day 2 of our rental searching with an impromptu trip to Cocoa Beach, which is located just an hour and a half east of Orlando. After touring all our rental options and weighing the pros and cons of each one, we were pretty pleased with the rental that we chose. I'm gonna share more about our place and how we're making it feel like home in some future videos, but until that, stay tuned for part 3 of this series where I'll be taking you along on our 1,200-mile road trip from Kansas City to Orlando. Let me know what you think about these rentals in the comments. Were you surprised at the prices? Would you ever consider moving to Central Florida? Do you already live in Central Florida? And if so, what's your experience been? Also, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!